I have a shy friend.
Okay.
That's got
Yep.
a question.
Sure.
She's interested in starting on keto. Would you explain the importance of getting off like a proton pump inhibitor
Yeah.
when starting on like high protein?
Sure. So you should get off the chronic proton pump inhibitor regardless of what diet you're eating, because it increases your risk of dementia, of hip fractures, of cancer, and several other things we probably haven't even discovered yet. So regardless of what diet you're on, you need to get off the daily proton pump inhibitor. But are you going to be able to get off the daily proton pump inhibitor unless you adopt keto, ketovore, carnivore? Probably not. And so that's one of the beautiful things about a proper human diet is it helps you come off medication like that. I used to take 2 Nexium a day. 2 Nexium. When the drug rep came with the Nexium samples, the patients never saw those. I got all of those because I needed them. But then keto was 80% better. Carnivore, 0 heartburn ever. Right? And so the proper human diet allows you to wean down and stop the proton pump inhibitor, thus preventing the potential side effects of dementia, hip fracture, cancer, and other things. Does that answer?
Yeah, I did my husband, and I listened to him, and I gradually.
Yep. Now, and so that if anybody's on Protonics, Prevacid, Nexium, if you stop at cold turkey, you're going to have rebound heartburn. It's going to suck. It's not dangerous, but it's going to suck. But if you wean it down slowly, and you're in the setting of eating a proper human diet, then the worst case scenario is you'll be able to cut the medicine in half and take half what you used to.
Her name's Terry.
Hey, Terry. Yes, sir.
Everybody talks about cholesterol being too high.
Yep.
What about the opposite problem?
I think it's a big
Low.
deal. Yeah, so I think it's a big deal if your total cholesterol or your LDL cholesterol are too low.
What, like, I've got numbers like 81 cholesterol.
That's your
48
total cholesterol?
Yeah.
And that's with medication or without?
Without, it's somebody else. but
Okay, gotcha.
33
Yeah.
LDL, 76 triglycerides.
And that's with no medication?
Right.
Yeah.
But actually, she does take medicine, I don't know what.
No cholesterol medication, okay.
And then the HDL, is it C or P would you go by? We've got HDL-C.
HDL-C,
C
yeah.
is 32.
32, which that's just a little bit low. So there's actually when Dave Feldman and Dr. David Diamond and others were really looking at all the literature about cholesterol, they kept noticing a pattern that if your total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol are super low, or if they were normal and all of a sudden they nosedive, that can actually be a red flag that you've got cancer or some other medical condition that really needs to be dealt with that hasn't been diagnosed yet. And so if she's taking something for cholesterol, then that's probably why it's like that. If she's not, then that probably needs to be evaluated. But how do you go to your doctor? Think about some of the situations, just the idiocy of modern medicine put us in. You go to your doctor and say, Doc, my total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol, they're as low as you want them to be, and that's got me worried.
That's the thing, the doctor says, yeah, it all looks good.
The doctor's like, good! And you're like, no, what? Yeah, and so it puts us in all these weird quandaries because there's these competing hypotheses of what's healthy and what's not. But if I'll tell you this, if that was my total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol, I'd be looking for a specialist to get some testing done.
Okay.
That's not saying anything bad's going on. I'm just saying I would be getting some testing.
I'm going back 2 years and it's been low.
Yeah. And there are some people just genetically are going to have it low, but it's very, very rare. But there are some genetic defects that you can have it that low, and that may be all it is, but it needs to be evaluated and you need to verify that that's what it is.
But getting on the proper human diet should
Improve her health in hundreds of ways, yes. Hi.
Hi. Okay, so I'm sure I'm not the only one that's experienced this. So I've experienced medical gaslighting. So when I go to the doctors, I struggle to advocate for myself and my health.
Yep.
What are some ways I can confidently advocate for my health when in front of my doctor?
Yeah. So I've got a little YouTube video about medical gaslighting. And I kind of go through all this, but we can definitely talk about it now. So everybody knows what gaslighting is, right? When you make somebody feel crazy when they're not crazy, right? And so some doctors literally get off on making you feel less than, making them feel better than. They love that. That's part of their definition of who they are. Is I'm so much smarter than the hoi polloi that it's just painfully obvious. Right? And that's part of their definition. Now, anytime you fiddle with somebody's self-definition, what's going to be their reaction? Anger, fear. Anger, fear. They're going to be an asshole. Yeah. Or they're going to, burst out in tears and run to the back room. It's usually the anger part. That's what you see. And so anytime you start to see your primary care physician becoming emotionally upset, and you're not slapping them or cursing them, right, or kicking mud on them, and they're becoming emotionally upset, that's weird. Think about it. When you're just having a normal conversation with somebody about the weather, do they ever just become furious? You'd be like, what's wrong with you? You're not stable. And so anytime you see a doctor just become emotionally, their face turns red, you can see the pulse in that vein, that artery right there, that's abnormal behavior. That means that they have a false belief that they're not able to logically support, doesn't it? Right? It's like, say, when the 5-year-old still believes in Santa Claus, and then the 12-year-old, older nephew comes over and is like, that's bullshit, he ain't real. And the little 5-year-old has a come apart. Because you just rocked his entire paradigm of the world. And so when you rock a doctor's paradigm, you can expect they're going to be mad or sad or a combination of both. And so, that obviously, if I'm the doctor and I'm the boss, I'm the daddy of this situation, and you're making me uncomfortable, then I'm going to belittle you. Right? That's one possible protective mechanism that I can use to distance and to put you back where you belong and put me back where I belong, is to be like, okay, little girl, yes, honey, yeah, I see you Googled something. Good job. Okay. Right? And there's all a million different ways to use that to gaslight somebody. And you wind up, you walk out feeling like, well, I guess I'm crazy. But I felt like I had a point, but now I just feel crazy. You've been gaslit. That's exactly what's happened. Because when you leave an interaction between somebody who you look up to them, you consider them smarter than you, and at least in that subject, you should always leave that situation feeling edified, feeling informed, feeling consoled. Oh, okay, I didn't know, but now they help me understand and help me know. You should feel more comfortable, not less comfortable. Anytime you're in that kind of dichotomy, somebody's here, you're here, and you walk away from that interaction feeling worse than you did before you got there, then there's some sketchy shit that happened right there, including gaslighting.
So basically just fire them and find a new doctor?
What quicker way to solve the problem? One more? No. Autumn says no. Catch me later.
So sorry, the alarm went off. That's our time. Give it up, Dr. Ken Barron.